everyone! Today is going to be another Baking for Beginners video, and today we are making a recipe that would be great to take to your Thanksgiving dinner. We are making pumpkin pie, but it's pumpkin pie with a little bit of a different twist. It is a pumpkin spice latte pie, so it's going to have a little bit of coffee latte flavor in addition to the pumpkin spice pie. This is a little more advanced than other recipes we've made on Baking for Beginners, but I think it will be a good learning experience and a good thing to try out. I actually chose it based on your votes on my Facebook page. I put out a little poll with 3 different sort of Thanksgiving themed recipes to see what people wanted me to make, and the pumpkin pie was the winner. So the first thing that we are going to need to do is make our pie crust. So this is the refrigerated pie crust that you can buy pre-made. And in order to make that, we have to preheat our oven to 450 degrees Fahrenheit. Also make sure that you've let it come to room temperature if it's been frozen or in the refrigerator. The recipe calls to use a 9-inch glass pie pan. I do not own a glass pie pan, so I'm going to make it with a metal pan, and I'll just have to keep my eye on it to see if the baking times need any sort of adjusting. So that's the first thing we're going to do, is line our pan with the crust and cook the crust, which will need to fully cool before we can put our filling in. We are now going to cook our pie crust for 10 to 12 minutes and then let it cool. And while it's cooling, we will combine all of our ingredients so that they will be ready to put in the pie crust once it is cooled. The things you will need will be 1 can of pumpkin, not pumpkin pie mix, just pumpkin. 1 can of evaporated milk, 3/4 of a cup of packed brown sugar, 1 tablespoon of instant coffee powder or espresso powder, which I'll get into a little bit more detail about in a moment, 1½ teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice, 3 eggs, and a mixer. So this recipe actually called for instant espresso powder, but when I went to the store I could not find instant espresso powder. I could find espresso and instant coffee, but not instant espresso. So I ended up just getting instant coffee, and I'm hoping that that is going to work. It might not give it that strong latte flavor, but hopefully it will work out. And if any of you happen to know where to get instant espresso, then let me know that in the comments down below, so that way if I'm ever making this recipe again, I will know where to find it. Now we are going to put all of our ingredients into our mixer and stir on medium until well blended. We should also make sure that our oven is preheated to 400 degrees because that is what we are going to begin baking our pie at. So I had a feeling that pies would be difficult, and it turns out that one of the more difficult things was the crust, even though it was a ready-made crust. I think it could be because I didn't use a glass pan, so it didn't cook evenly, because it definitely turned brown, definitely came out a weird shape and kind of fell into the pan. So now the filling is kind of going outside of the pan, but well, let's cook it and we'll see what happens. The actual filling was pretty easy to make, but The way we're going to cook it is we're going to bake it for 15 minutes at the 400-degree temperature, then turn the oven down to 350 degrees and cook for another 25 to 35 minutes until you can stick a toothpick or a knife in and have it come out clean with nothing sticking to it. So as you can see, our pie is now done cooking. It did take a little longer in my oven to cook it all the way through than the 35 minutes. So it probably just depends on your oven. So just keep checking it and making sure that your knife comes out clean. Unfortunately, I can't sample it for you yet because it says to wait 3 hours to let it cool. Now, another option you have is to make some whipped cream and put that on top. I opted not to do that this time around, but that is something that you could do to add to the top of it. If I do get an opportunity once it is cooled to come back and check in with you and let you know how it turned out, I will certainly do that for you. But I hope you've enjoyed today's Baking for Beginners video. It was a little bit more challenging for me, but I just look at it as it's good practice and a good learning experience. And I'm never going to get better at it unless I keep trying out new recipes and keep practicing. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoy baking videos. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. There's a button down below, and that way you will see all the videos I have for you in the future. I have a lot of exciting things planned and coming up in the next couple of months that you won't want to miss. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!